Aloha kako. Welcome everybody. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves started. Um, Chair Kimiano Kane calling the meeting into order at 7 p.m. Today's Monday, July 14th, 2025. We are here at the Waimānalo Public Library and folks joining us online on WebEx. Mahalo all of you folks for making time to join us for our initial convening meeting. Purpose of the meeting and the neighborhood board is to increase and assure effective citizen participation in the decisions of government. Rules for engaging are fairly simple. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to raise their hand in person and or the click raise hand icon online. When you're recognized by the chair to address your comments to the chair, remarks should not exceed 3 minutes. Please ensure your microphone is muted unless you are speaking. You can mute and unmute for those dialing in online by pressing *6. And please state your first and last name for the record before moving into your comment or question. Written testimony may also be submitted via email using the contact information listed below and listed on the Neighborhood Commission Office website. This board functions with the guiding principles of aloha, akahai, meaning kindness, to be expressed with tenderness, lokahi, meaning unity, to be expressed with harmony, olu, meaning agreeable, to be expressed with pleasantness, ha'aha'a, meaning humility, to be expressed with modesty, and ahonui, meaning patience, to be expressed with perseverance, in accordance with Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 5-7.5. A note that the board may not take or may take action on any item that is agendized as required by the State Sunshine Law, HRS 92. Specific issues not noted on this agenda cannot be voted or on unless added to the agenda, at which point time 2/3 vote or 9 of this 13-member board is needed to add any item to the agenda. Doing so is not permitted, however, if the item is reasonably of major importance, and 2, if the item by the board will affect a significant number of persons. Determination on whether a specific matter may be added to the agenda is done on a case-by-case basis. We remind folks to please silence all electronic devices, and as well as recognizing that the meeting is being recorded. So please be mindful of that. Members, when you're asked to take a vote, your cameras will be asked to be turned on. And tonight is a very heavy agenda. Our July agendas are typically heavy as we reconvene. And so we just remind folks to be mindful of the time, the airtime that you folks are utilizing. As much as we try not to cut people off, it is important for us to be mindful of that so that everyone has a chance to speak and share what they came to share. We can get through the agenda as quickly and as responsibly as possible. So mahalo for that. We're going to ask a volunteer participant, anyone that is willing to open up our meeting in Pule or Oli. Do we have anyone online or anyone in person who would be willing to open up our meeting? If not, we're going to call Auntie Luana. I see no hands online. Auntie Luana, would you be so kind? As soon as you put all your stuff down and check in. It's a love relationship. Right there's fine. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Auntie Luana, for grounding us. Mahalo nui. All right, gang, we're going to move quickly through our agenda items this evening. And we mahalo everyone ahead of time for your patience, as it's going to be quite a marathon. Rules and meeting announcements have been provided. Roll call is going to be done by our Brandon Sark, our assistant here. Members, when your name is called, please respond with your present. And again, if you're online, please put your meeting, your cameras on for this. Thank you.
Okay, I'll begin with the roll call. First off, board member Kanela Kamahalohanui.
Here.
Here. Next, board member Kimeona Kane.
Ew.
Here. Next, board member Kuike Kamakea Ohelo. I see him online.
Hail.
Here. Okay, thank you. Next, board member Lily Makaila.
Ew.
Here. Thank you. Next, board member Jenna McKeague.
Eo.
Here, thank you. Next, board member Moeata Mokulehua.
Eo.
Next, board member Kapiolani Ni.
Eo.
Thank you. Next, board member Ted Ralston. Okay, absent. And board member Brenda Wong. Also absent, but we do have quorum.
Perfect. Mahalo nui kako. Thank you guys for making time to be here this evening. We're going to move on to our Olelo no Iao of the month. This is number 12 from our Olelo no Iao series, and it says, Ahu kalala kukui. The kukui branches lay about in heaps, strewn about in every direction, an expression that refers to an untidy place or the stewing of dead bodies after battle. Again, Olelo no Iao of the month, number 12, Ahu kalala kukui. Mahalo nui, gang. At this time, we're going to be taking a slight pause to issue our new board members. So we're going to be doing our swearing in for our new board members, and congratulations to all of the board members that have done their part. In large part, we want to mahalo our previous board members, Kinani Granberg, as well as Lulu Milan, who have served this board and this community with a lot of beautiful hard work. And then we welcome in some of our returning board members who won their seats again this particular session. And then we welcome Lily as our newly elected. Thank you so much for your contributions, Lily. So this time, members, we're all going to be taking the oath of office, getting that squared away so that we can begin the fullness of our agenda. Mahalo.
Okay, for the oath of office, I'll read it, and if you could repeat after me. Okay, I solemnly swear that I will faithfully support the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America,
The laws of the United States of America.
the Constitution and laws of the state of Hawaii, the charter and laws of the city and county of Honolulu, and the provisions of the neighborhood plan, and will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties to the best of my ability as a member of the neighborhood board to which I have been elected. Okay, thank you very much.
Mahalo kako. Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you for that. Members, congratulations on your re-elections. We look forward to your continued service. Thank you. The next direction that we're going to take is election of officers to serve from July 2025 to July 2026. These officers that to be elected are the chair, vice chair, secretary, and any others determined to be needed to the board to conduct its business. So at this time, we'll be taking any recommendations for the position of chair. Any nominees?
I nominate Kimiona Kane.
Thank you, Lily. Mahalo. Are there any other nominees for the position of chair?
Chair, this is Kuike.
Kuike?
I just want to support and second Lily's nomination.
Mahalo, noted. Members, any other nominees for the position of chair? Okay, hearing none, members, mahalo nui for the nomination. I will gladly accept that position. Thank you so much. We'll take a vote nonetheless, members. When you are called, you will state the last name of the individual to be elected into that position. And so in this case,
Oh, we could do it a little more informally in this case if everyone's minded, like hearing no objections or just a quick voice vote. Yeah, like hearing no objections, really. Okay. Yeah.
you want to do that?
Yeah. I think it'll be, yeah, expedite the process.
Here we go again. Hearing no objections, we will go ahead and elect Chair Kane back into that position of chair. Thank you very much.
Oh, my kainui.
Mahalo. Members, we're looking at the vice chair position at this time. As you recall, we served with 2 vice chairs previously. If there are any nominees for the vice chair position, please make them known at this time.
I would like to nominate Kuike and Kuike Valeno.
Mahalo Moyata Kuike has been nominated. Members, any other nominations for the position of vice chair?
I second.
Seconded, thank you. Kuike, do you accept?
Mahalo for the nomination. Unfortunately, I accept.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Here we go, Kako, with the
No, mahalo me.
Mahalo. The one recognition with Kuike Kamake Ohelo as vice chair. Hearing no objections, congratulations, Kuike, on your service and support. Mahalo nui for your position. Thank you. Next, we have the role of secretary. Kako, any nominees for the role of secretary? Let's not all vote at once.
I'd like to happily nominate Moyata.
Moyata?
Mokulehua.
Mahalo, there's a nomination for Moyata Mokulehua for the position of secretary. Is there any other names that would like to be
I second.
seconded? Thank you. Any other nominees, Kako?
I would like to nominate Lourdes because wasn't she secretary already? So I would hate to take that from her.
Moyata, that is kind of you. Lourdes is no longer on the board.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Shucks.
And
Okay.
Jenna
great.
was our secretary previously.
Oh, look, Jenna. I nominate Jenna then because Jenna is really good at doing that job.
Mahalo. So we have Jenna and we have Moyata as the two nominees. Either of you opposed to the nomination? Jenna, you
Jenna-
good with the nomination?
Jenna opposes. Moyata would be better.
Okay. So Jenna declines. Thank you so much. Moyata,
Mahalo.
you're my ka'i.
I accept. Mahalo.
Great. Hearing no objections, members, congratulations, Moyata, for your service as secretary. Thank you. Okay, Kako, are there any other positions that need to be determined to conduct board business? Typically, we had a treasurer, but we don't necessarily use that anymore. I don't see any other necessary positions. Okay, hearing none, congratulations on our newly elected officers. Thank you so much for your folk service and your commitment to this community. We're going to move on. We have meeting date, time, location, and format to be determined. This will serve from August on until the end of this term. The meeting dates have been on the second Monday, and the times have been 7 o'clock. The location has been here at the Waimānalo Public Library, and the format has been a hybrid meeting. Members, are there any recommendations on this information to serve as the principles moving forward? Anyone object to maintaining the current functions?
No objection here.
Okay, hearing no objections, we will continue with the current model, which is to meet on the second Mondays of the month. The time is at 7 p.m. The location will remain at the Waimānalo Public Library, and the format will maintain a hybrid format. Mahalo, members. Thank you so much for your time there. Determination of recess schedule. We have up to 3 recesses per year. Currently, I believe we recess in December. Members, are there any nominations or recommendations for a recess schedule? Anyone opposed to maintaining the current recess schedule of December? Okay, hearing no opposition, we will go ahead and maintain a recess schedule, including December. Thank you so much, members. Adoption of oral testimony rules. Are there any oppositions to maintaining the adoption of the current oral testimony rules? Hearing no opposition, we will maintain and lift that up and adopt the oral testimony rules. Mahalo, members. Thank you. We have formation of committees. I think this board is recognized that committees, we have some outstanding work that needs to be done there, but I will entertain if anyone has a strong opinion to reinstate any of the committees necessary to facilitate work for this community. Otherwise, we'll have to catch up on some things first before doing so. Any members opposed to our holding off on committee formations?
No opposition here.
Mahalo, thank you. Hearing no other opposition, we will go ahead and kind of hold our position on the formation of committees until a later date. Thank you so much, members. All right, gang, we moved through that very quickly. Appreciate that. We're going to move on to our emergency reports. We have Honolulu Fire Department up first. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Thanks, Captain.
Okay, good evening, Captain Schubert, Waimānalo Fire Station. The incident statistics for last month were 27 medical calls, 3 motor vehicle accidents, 1 ocean rescue, 6 brush fires, and 2 nuisance fires. The fire safety tip for the month has to deal with wildland fire awareness, prevention, and preparedness. Wildland fires significantly threaten Hawaii's landscape, wildlife, and communities. With dry conditions and daily activities increasing the risk, it's crucial to take proactive steps to prevent and mitigate wildland fires. The way we could do that is lighten the load, reduce the risk of ignition by maintaining your yards and cleaning your gutters to remove fuels. Clear, cool, and contain. Clear vegetation 10 feet around campfires and barbecues. Keep a shovel and water nearby and ensure fires are completely extinguished before leaving. And watch the spark. Ensure machinery, chainsaws, weed whackers, and recreational vehicles with operating spark arresters are maintained regularly. For more information, you can visit these online resources: Honolulu Fire Department, which is fire.honolulu.gov, Department of Emergency Management, which is honolulu.gov/dem, and Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization, which is hwmo.org/lookout.
Captain, thank you so much for your service. Mahalo nui to you and your colleagues for the incredible work that you folks are doing. Members, any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? Members online first? Seeing none. Members in person? Seeing none. Anyone from the community? Seeing none. Captain, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Gang, we're going to move on to our Honolulu Police Department. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Good
Aloha.
evening, board members and members of the committee. My name is Lieutenant Drew Akagi. I come out of the Kaneohe Station. Online is Officer Atkins. He will be giving the stats for the community tonight.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Good evening. I'm Officer Jared Atkins with Community Policing Team. The stats for June 2025 were there were 0 motor vehicle thefts versus 1 the previous month. There were 0 burglaries versus 1 the previous month. There were 6 thefts versus 5 the previous month. There were 3 car break-ins in June versus 5 the previous month, and 0 robberies versus 0 the last May. So crime has gone down a little bit. Myself or the lieutenant can take any questions or comments the community may have.
Thank you, Officer Atkins. Members online, questions for HPD? Seeing and hearing none. Anyone in person? Lieutenant, I do have a question, and it's regarding some of the more recent upticks, I think, that we're seeing on the continent. There's a lot of, I guess, lack of clarity when it comes to ICE and the functions that they have in serving communities. It's become a very divisive and dangerous conversation. And I'm wondering, how has the county prepared for that?
Really, we don't see too much of that here on Honolulu. I understand from what I understand and hear from fellow workers is that it is going on the outer islands. But we work hand in hand with the other departments should they need any type of support. And we just follow the Constitution of the United States and of Hawaii.
I appreciate the answer. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Questions for HPD? Hearing none. Mahalo nui for being here, Lieutenant. Officer Atkins, thank you so much, gentlemen. We appreciate your folks' service. Mahalo. We're going to move on to our City and County of Honolulu Department of Ocean Safety folks. Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Akatama Shiro. For those of you that maybe haven't heard, recently Ocean Safety has become its own department. One of the first things that we're able to do is go ahead and add an additional lieutenant, i.e. a mobile responder truck, specifically for Waimānalo. Due to our lack of space and better response times, we're keeping that truck right across the street. thanks with our brothers and sisters with HFD, and it's been going really well. As far as stat wise, as usual, this is just for last month. We saw about 125,000 people was at beaches from Makapu to Bellows. We try to keep our numbers specific for the Waimānalo area. If you guys are interested in other stats, by all means, let me know. And then some of the other cases that we've had throughout the last month include, surprisingly, multiple paraglider incidences where, with them having emergency hard landings in the ocean corresponding with fire. Unfortunately, some self-harm down at the Kaupo area and missing person search, which the Waimānalo truck was asked to correspond along with HFD and Coast Guard. So already within the last 6 months, we've only seen nothing but good results from implementing this truck. And being a Waimānalo resident right up at Banyan Tree myself, you know, I'm very grateful to be able to take that position 4 days a week. So if you guys have any questions, by all means, you know, Kimiona has a direct line to me. I'm also with Waimānalo for quite some time now. But I'm really grateful that we've been trying to push for it for the last couple of years. And I'm really grateful that we have a truck dedicated just for Waimānalo. With that being said, as the other lieutenants, both in Kailua and Hawaii Kai side, as they go on breaks or leave the area, then the Waimānalo truck will shuffle to help cover. So it's kind of, we're always moving up and down the coast and going to wherever we need. Also, one of our main topics is about 4 or 5 months ago, the Parks Department, for those of you that don't know, all of our facilities and all of our storage units are all on loan from the Parks Department for the last 90 years. We're currently still waiting for the very first building in the 100 years of existence of ocean safety right over by Kailua Boat Ramp to finally get finished. As usual, running a little behind schedule, but we got windows and we have doors, so we're right around the corner. But with that being said, Parks has been asking us to start vacating out of certain premises that they've been nice enough to let us leave things in. And primarily the one that they're talking about right now is down at Unananiho or Sherwoods. Also here with me this evening is Jim Loganville. He's our senior guard down there at Sherwoods. The reason being is Dwight is getting a UTV or a Gator, which I think he definitely deserves. He usually hauls it with his personal truck. So, but what that does for us is he politely asked if we can vacate that storage room, which means an ATV, radios, and other day-to-day necessities. So what the city has between Parks and Ocean Safety, the happy medium, and also I thought was a really good idea from Jim, is having a storage container. We've gotten the thumbs up from the Parks Department, but first and foremost, we didn't want to go ahead and make any steps without talking with our community first. We would be storing it. It'd be a 40-foot container already on a pre-existing slab where the old caretaker home was. I shared some of those notes with Kimiona previously, and it wouldn't be particularly where the house actually stood. It'd be on the left side when you're facing Makai, a little more where the kind of the driveway was. In speaking with Parks, they say as long as there's no opposition, then they're ready to go ahead and move one of the pylons for us. It'll be a one day drop off. Our chief of operations, Charlie Oliveri, he's done it at a few different sites around the island. So he's got a really good system. It'd be pretty minimal. And we're trying to keep it as non-invasive as possible. And then try to keep as invisible footprint as we can. We are planning to expect to deal with, overnight activities, but we'll deal with that as we come along. But in my personal opinion, I think it'll help us continue to serve the community good. It'll keep our assets close at hand so that they won't have to leave and drive to another beach park or wait for a lieutenant to bring stuff to them, which leaves them not unable to respond, but not able to respond as best as possible. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to hear them. And if I don't have the answers, I'll take some notes and get back to you guys.
Aka, thank you so much. Mahalo to both of you for being here. Thank you. Members online, any questions for ocean safety?
Chair.
Yep, Kuike.
Mahalo. Yeah, I got a few questions. The first question about the proposed 40-foot container. You have an idea on timeline of how long that will be there? Is that temporary? Is that permanent?
I would like to say temporary. I have hopes that we'd be able to go ahead after getting the Kailua facility up and running, that maybe we could get yet another building, not necessarily in that particular place, but in all realistic, to be honest with you, probably somewhat long term.
Okay, mahalo for your response. Chair, if I may, I have a few follow-up questions to that.
Please go ahead.
All right, so how deep have your folks' conversations gone with the director of parks? If the proposals, movement of the storage is somewhat permanent, like, is it just going to be a container on the ground? There going to be signage? How long is it going to be there? I just really want to know all of these questions and the depth of your folks' conversations with the Department of Parks.
Oh, I appreciate the questions, and they're all valid. I'm not the one actually speaking with Parks. We did have a meeting with, was it Brother Kili, whose office is right up at the Waimānalo gym. That's pretty much the extent of my speaking with Parks. But from what I'm hearing from the chief of operations, they seem to be okay with it, as long as we're not breaking any ground. We're using an existing concrete slab. As far as timeline, realistically, probably long term.
Okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to you folks being in that space. I just want to really know, what the depth of conversation, because, I mean, if the sense is somewhat permanent, then, I mean, Chair, what can we do as a community to support, ocean safety in this matter? That's really where I'm coming from right now, Chair. So if there can be, I guess, follow-up conversations with the parks director or whomever that has the authority to steer these conversations on how we can get something more permanent and stand up something more feasible to support ocean safety and all they do for our communities. I mean, as we heard from the report, the one truck that supports ocean safety is permanently in Waimānalo. It goes as far as Kailua, as well as Maunalua, to service those communities as well. So I want to make sure that we do what we can here to support you folks. So just mahalo for your responses, and just keep us posted and let us know how we can support. So Chair, I yield back to you.
Mahalo nui. Thanks, Kuike. Yeah, I support the sentiment of the Vice Chair that if there is a more direct need from us, whoever needs to present it, whether it's your folks' office or in partnership with the Department of Parks and Recs, let us know and we can put that on the agenda. And we can definitely have a much more fruitful conversation about what that might look like. I think it goes without saying that the water for our community is an important place and space. And we mahalo you folks for putting your lives on the line every day to protect those within and those that use it. So mahalo nui for that. Anyone else online? Questions for ocean safety? Folks in public? Person? None? Anyone from the public? Okay. Aka, do we have a contact information for anyone, for you, for somebody for the community if they want to contact you folks? Is there an email or a phone number that folks can be reaching you folks?
To be honest, I know it's not the most professional route, but you guys are more than welcome to call my personal cell phone. Was it? But like I said, I live right up the road, and I understand I can go two ways, but I believe in hearing both sides as often as possible, because that's only going to make you not much more understanding of the situation. So, and mahalo for you guys' support. Like I said, we don't want to start walking without talking to our neighbors and our community first. So it was really important for us to come and put this in front of you guys, let you guys talk about it and whatnot before making any further moves.
Awesome. Mahalo. Seeing no other comments or questions, mahalo to you gentlemen for being here. We appreciate your folks' service. Thank you. Members, we're going to move on. We have the public agencies reports. We'll start with Board of Water Supply. Danny?
Hi, good evening. I have the report from the water for July. So we had no water main breaks to report in June for Waimānalo. And the two announcements basically. July is Smart Irrigation Month. The board is asking people to check for leaks and misdirected sprinkler heads, water early in the morning to reduce evaporation, attach a shut-off nozzle to your garden hose to avoid water waste, install weather-based irrigation controllers, and use capture rainwater in a water barrel if possible. And then second message is just reminder, August 2nd, Saturday is our annual unthirsty plant sale at the end of Waimānalo Road in Halava Valley. It's a free function we have every year. It's from 9 to 1. Parking is available on the street or at Halava District Park or at the city yard on Waimānalo Road, and we have shuttles that'll take you into the plant sale. And it is from 9 to 1 again. We're offering free mulch. There's plant vendors. There's a plant doctor, rain barrel tips, and let's see. And that's a thing. People look forward to that. I'm not sure if anyone's been there. And then lastly, there's no scheduled BWS work going on for this month that I have to report. Any questions?
Danny, thank you so much for the report. Members online, questions for Board of Water Supply? Seeing and hearing none. Any members in public? Yep, please.
Aloha, Lily Makaila with the Neighborhood Board. Just had a question about the Ko'olaupoco Watershed Management Plan. I know we're about halfway through, just over halfway through that plan with a 20-year planning horizon. Just wondering if you folks could, I'm sure you won't have an answer this evening, but perhaps for next month, if you'd be willing to give any status update on some of the implementation, especially for the watershed management programs that were cited. Mahalo.
Okay, I will get some information to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. Any members of the public? August 2nd, 9 to 1.
Yes, second. 9 to 1.
Thank you. Okay. Danny, I just want to also share, I want to mahalo Board of Water Supply. The effort to impact and reduce koki frogs in Waimānalo has been a tremendous uphill battle. And any placement that the Board of Water Supply can take to support those efforts, especially as the population is near and around that water tank, has been really appreciated. And so I know that there's some conversations needing to take place with regards to water usage for some of the activities that are needing to happen. But I just want to extend my aloha to Board of Water Supply for the continued presence in the conversations and willingness to step up and support. So if you can pass that on, that would be really helpful.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe, question for Board of Water Supply? Danny, there's one more question.
Aloha nui. My name is Joe. I am visiting Waimānalo today, but I live in Kahulu'u. I was just wondering if the Board of Water Supply has a budget item for managing invasive species. Because I know koki was mentioned over here, but I know that there's little fire ants on Board of Water Supply property in Kahulu'u. So I was wondering if you have a budget supply and if the county is contributing to that effort. Thank you.
Okay, I
Thank
will
you,
find
Danny.
out.
Yep, mahalo, and we can forward that information across to Joel. Seeing no other questions and comments, Danny, thank you so much for your service. Mahalo for being here.
Thank you.
Mahalo. All right, gang, we're going to move over to the mayor's office report. This is with Director Laura Thielen. And then following that is going to be an update to the Waimānalo Beach Park comfort stations. There's a presentation to follow. So if we could lock in, that would be great. Director, thank you so much for being here. Mahalo.
Thank you. It's nice to be back here in person instead of on the screen, and it's nice to see you all. So Laura Thielen on behalf of Mayor Blangiardi. I will give the mayor's report, but then as the chair mentioned, the Department of Parks and Recreation is doing a number of capital improvement projects in Waimānalo, several at Waimānalo Beach Park and one at the Waimānalo District Park. I have updates on those projects, but we had a community meeting to take a look at two of the Waimānalo Beach Park projects, the two comfort station replacements. And at that community meeting, there was preference for one of the comfort stations and then design change suggestions for the other one. And we reached agreement that we would come back through the neighborhood board process to give the updates. So tonight I'm being joined by the consultants for the City Department of Design and Construction. And these are the design consultants. They have fine-tuned the first comfort station plans and then come up with some options based on the community comments on the second one. So I'll try and go through the report fairly efficiently, and then we'll pass it over to the design consultants. So first of all, we had some carryover items about stream cleaning. So we did get some in-depth information from the Department of Facility Maintenance. So first of all, privately owned streams and other non-city owned portions of streams that require maintenance, there is a city's clean stream hotline, and that can be reported to them. And then also an email, and I'll give those information out. And then they can contact the property owner about doing the cleaning that's supposed to be done by the owner of the stream area. So the city's Clean Streams hotline is 808-768-7890. And then you can also contact the road maintenance public works investigators. And that email is at D as in dog, F as in facilities, and M as in maintenance. So dfmroads@honolulu.gov. What's important is you have to include the location and contact information, if you have it, for the private property that's bordering the stream, so they can contact the person. DFM's drainage engineer will schedule an inspection and send out a letter of maintenance responsibility to the owner of the stream. Maintenance of drainage swales and driveway culverts within the sidewalk area is between the private property and the asphalt road pavement, can be reported to the Department of Planning and Permitting Residential Code. That came in with a question about the swales that go down next to the streets through the private property. So the enforcement branch at the Department of Planning and Permitting Residential Code is area code 808-768-8127. And they can do an investigation and push people to be able to maintain those swales. The city does maintain a stream maintenance schedule. They have that on the Department of Facility Maintenance or DFM website, and you can Google Honolulu DFM and you can pull that up. It will provide the dates for the schedule and clearings. And we have the dates here for Kahavai stream maintenance. It's twice a year, and they're supposed to be going in this summer, July or August of 2025. And if you need more information about that maintenance, you can contact the Kailua Waimānalo District of DFM at 768-3581. So I think that covers all of the stream questions. That was a carryover from May. We had a question about the unauthorized barriers restricting beach access locations at Kiona Beach Park. The community raised concerns about unauthorized barriers that was obstructing public beach access. So DPR staff did inspect the beach park. They found some orange fencing near the boat ramp area, and the park staff will be removing that fencing. There was a request for barriers to prevent unsafe vehicle access at Waimānalo Beach Park parking lot. DPR staff is aware of certain areas where the unauthorized vehicles have been accessing the field and beach areas. So they are placing barricades in as they can get them. I know we've talked to the board about work with the military because we don't have access to the super large boulders that can prevent cars from going through. We found that the smaller rocks don't really prevent people from going through, and unfortunately the poles and chains are just very frequently vandalized. So as we can get access to boulders, we'll continue to block the areas. And otherwise, we encourage people to call the police if they see unauthorized driving on the beach. General project updates, and again, I'll leave the comfort stations to the design consultants who are here tonight. But the Waimānalo Beach Park Pavilion reconstruction, the building permit has been picked up by the contractor. The Department of Design and Construction does have a construction management person assigned to monitor that construction. And they're still working on just the final submittals. I don't have a notice when the contractor is going to start at this point, but it hopefully will be soon. The Waimānalo District Park, the gym roof improvements, we are down now to the final punch list. So the construction has been completed. Most everything's been completed, but in the walkthrough, the staff at Waimānalo District Park identified a few things they wanted fixed, like with the volleyball poles, and I think it's the final flooring, redoing of the flooring needed a few touch-up areas. So once that is done, the last thing, all the stuff in the gym will be done. The only thing remaining will be the redoing the landscaping outside the gym. But I did talk with the park staff, and they will accept the gym while the contractor still is responsible for the grass. Usually that's a 3-month period just to make sure the grass grows in and all the irrigation is working well. But because it's all surrounded by sidewalks and there's pathways, we can take that gym back and reopen it as soon as the punch list is completed. And then we have the Waimānalo Beach Park, the Arts and Crafts building. That was the building that was closed down due to the arson. So DDC design consultant, we worked with them. We are going to take, there's a limit on how many bathrooms we can put in the park in those 2 sites because of what the wastewater regulations are. We are going to take 1 toilet stall for that arts and crafts facility because if we reopen that for summer fun program or kapuna program, people may not be able to, get all the way over to the bathroom, or we can't send a keiki over on their own because it's unsafe. So we will add a bathroom in there, and we've taken a look at design option layouts. The footprint and outside of the building will be the same. They're just going to put back the structural integrity that was lost due to the fire, and then add the toilet stall inside the building. And then lastly would be the 2 Waimānalo Beach comfort stations. So at this point, I'd like to invite up the DDC consultants, and they can show the 2 options.
And then for those that are participating, we'll take questions afterwards on the mayor's report first, and then we'll take questions on the presentation. So just to keep your questions kind of separate, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Drake. I'm with Architects Pacific. And so we have there's 2 comfort stations that are being redesigned or replaced at Waimānalo Beach Park. Comfort Station A, which is by the Arts Building and the Pavilion. So we're going to be replacing the building with 8 new toilet rooms, 4 changing rooms, 2 sinks. 2 sinks and 2 water fountains. Also, there's a back storage area for ocean safety, where they're going to keep their vehicle and store some of their items for the beach. And then for the bathrooms, there's 4 accessible stalls, and then there's also 2 accessible changing rooms. So this would be replacing the existing, I guess, the bigger bathroom on that side. For Comfort Station B, which is by the halal, based on our last meeting that we had, we increased the amount of toilets from 5 to 7. We added 2 water fountains, we have 2 sinks, and then we also added another kind of larger sink for the camp side. And then we have 4 changing rooms. And then this, on this side, the storage is for the park, Department of Parks, for their vehicle and the storage of their signage and other things that they need to take care of the park. And that's
So the pavilion comfort station, I think at the community meeting we had, that there was kind of consensus on preferring one of the 2 options because there was less kind of a hiding area. There were some parts that were jutting out. So this comfort, the pavilion comfort station A is pretty much along the lines of the design with, I think, the water filling station and some other things that were added in. There was less agreement on the beach camp side. And the other thing we found is that, you know, there was a maximum, as I mentioned, of the number of toilets that can go into either the comfort stations based on the septic systems. The comfort station by the campground side could put in more toilets than they currently have. So we kind of offset the loss of a couple of the toilets on the pavilion side by adding them in to the comfort station side. One of the other comments was we had too many doors opening up on the sidewalk, and people were saying that was going to get too crowded. So we shifted, the design consultants shifted the toilets over to the side and the changing rooms on the back, and then adding in the campground sink, which campers tend to need a deeper sink for washing dishes and things like that. As we talked about in that meeting, staying in the footprint of the existing buildings, so we're not disturbing previously undisturbed ground, because we know that that's a concern. So that's really kind of limiting some of our design options just by the size.
Director, thank you so much. And to your team, mahalo for taking the concerns of the community and trying to work with that and see what might be presented tonight. I know that we won't have time to go into full detail and discussion this evening, but I do want to open up to any questions from the folks online first. Members online, any questions on the presentation? Well, first, any questions on the mayor's report? Members online. Seeing none. Members in person? Canela, please.
My question is, you shared about the unauthorized driving onto the beach park. Does that also include by where the bus stop is? Is that considered unauthorized driving and parking as well?
Driving in the bus stop?
Yes, so Waimānalo Beach Park, there's the Waimānalo beautification barrier that's happening, but everyone keeps parking in front of that beautification. Is that considered unauthorized parking and driving?
Oh, on the side of the road there.
Yes.
I would have to check. We'd have to send the request into the state DOT. I know in some of the city roads, like when you park in front of Kailua Beach Park, that's a city road, that is allowable parking in that area, but I'm not sure on the highway, state DOT, what it would be. But we can forward a question to them. Yeah. I can't make them answer.
No worries.
But they're usually very responsive. Yeah.
Mahalo, Canela. We're going to go ahead and call Ted Ralston online. Ted?
Thanks very much for the report.
Mayor's report, yeah.
Thanks very much for the report, Director. We're happy to see the progress. One of the comments we discussed at back at the meeting, maybe a couple, 3 months ago, whenever it was to make sure that the people in the contracting domain take a good solid inventory of the structural problems that have occurred by virtue of saltwater intrusion and by the opala from the ironwoods. But one has eroded a lot of the structural elements in steel, and the stuff on the roof is collected from the ironwoods, generates deterioration in the roof. So there's other things as well. I really would like to meet with somebody from the department and just spend an hour down there. We walk around, poke at things, look at where the issues are, because we've got to avoid these deterioration factors, which are some of them are so extreme, it's beyond belief that we allow them to happen. Anyway, I volunteer to meet with someone down there and we'll do an inventory. And not only there, also the Kanuhala gets some stuff too going on. So we need to understand we don't put steel brackets, we don't put steel reinforcement pieces out in the exposed environment. We don't hang wiring outside, and we make sure we don't put wood on the outside. And there's other things as well, but just walking around, it really brings up how aggressive the salt air is on the structure. I would really like to spend an hour down there with somebody to let's look around.
Mahalo, Ted. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else from the public here with an interest in the mayor's report? Hearing none. We're gonna move the conversation over to the comfort station renovations. Any members online, questions on that? Comments on that? Hearing and seeing no members online. Go ahead, Canela.
Okay, so Station B, you shared that sink was meant for those on the beach park. Is the purpose to wash dishes or? Okay, so it's like gonna be deeper. Okay, perfect.
So there'll be both the regular hand washing sinks, but also a campsite set.
Lily?
I can.
Yeah, mahalo.
We will send you also a link. It's on, I believe it's on the Design and Construction, excuse me, Department of Design and Construction website. The plans are on there. So I should have had that. Do you guys have that?
It's a QR code.
Oh, yeah.
And we have it on the handouts.
Yeah, I put that in the chat for folks online as well.
Yeah, so if you go to that QR code, you can see the details on the plans.
Great.
And I think they're also open for comment periods.
Yeah, until July 25th. We have a question from Lily.
Hi, aloha, Lily Makaila. I had a question about kind of the status of the project. Have you folks completed any like ground disturbing for it, or is there ground disturbing that's intended? Just wondering if you guys have to update the septic tank or do trenching at all.
So for the overall project, there will be some disturbance around the parking lot in order to get the new water line, sewer line, and electrical, because the power rate is out. So they have a temporary power right now, so we have to run a new. So that'll get replaced, but it's next to the parking lot and it only goes to the front. So it's kind of following the existing. We didn't want to tear up the parking lot, so we went around it so that the parking lot lasts longer. And then, yeah, I think that's the only, the rest of it, we're going to use the existing slabs that the bathrooms are on now as the footprint for the new building. So we're not going to disturb any additional area for the building itself.
Okay, and then no change to the septic tanks?
No.
Okay, mahalo.
Mahalo, Lily. Ted Ralston?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. My comments earlier related to this subject, so I was probably out of order a little bit, but I hope you got the message.
Yeah, we're not really using metal for the structure at all. We're using masonry and concrete, so that shouldn't be a problem for the structure itself.
And then would the director, I mean, Ted's offering an opportunity to take a walk. Is that something you folks are interested in providing time to, or?
We have masonry down there too, which of course the problem with masonry is the rebar spalls or rust and that concrete spalls out. So masonry needs to be reinforced with something, unless you're using fiberglass rebar.
We intend to use epoxy rebar.
Excellent. Epoxy steel or epoxy?
Epoxy steel rebar. So
Let's
the
go take a
rebar
look.
will be in a epoxy coated,
Okay.
and it's prefabricated so it won't be exposed to the ocean air.
Okay, mahalo. To Ted's previous invitation, is that something that you folks would be interested in, Director?
I don't think it's in the consultant's contract to do that amount of time. I'm always happy to have an ongoing dialogue with Ted. We've had calls many evenings on various things. So we're trying to take a lot of the concerns into account with this type of design. He raises valid points about construction on the ocean. A lot of our comfort stations have lasted a long time, but they're just really old. So as we get to the point of replacing them, we want to be sure that we're mindful about it. So I'm always happy to keep a dialogue going with Ted.
Wonderful, thank you. We're gonna move on to Kuike. 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 Are you Makoko? Okay, we'll come back to him. Are there any members of the public online that wish to comment? Any members here in public here?
Cheers,
Auntie
Kuike.
Luana? Okay, I'll come right back to you, Ku.
Yeah.
Sorry, Auntie, we gotta get you a mic. Thank you.
So, yeah, so we intend to salvage all of the existing rock from the existing structure and then reuse it into the new design around the exterior of the comfort stations.
Mahalo, Auntie Lu, thank you. Kuike, back to you.
Mahalo, Chair. Just a question for clarification to the contractor. So on the comfort station B, I've heard multiple times tonight already that there will be no ground disturbance and the slab that's already there as well will be used. However, on the plans, and just for clarification again, the Mackay side, it seems like the proposed building plans is a little longer, reaching towards the ocean than the current slab. So is there going to be concrete poured in, or are we expanding the slab towards the ocean a few feet, or no?
It might go about 12 to 14 inches past the existing slab. So we might have to add a little bit of concrete at the edge, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was up against, but I'll have to double check.
Oh. Interesting. So can we clarify right now if there will be ground disturbance and an expansion of the footprint or the footing needed to support the structures for the comfort station B?
So we will have to cut the existing slab partially inside. The intention is not to extend past the top part, but we might extend inside towards the parking lot side a little bit.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it for now, Chair. I just wanted that clarified because the plans does look like it expands beyond the boundaries of the current slab. So, I mean, can we get that question answered right now? If the proposed plans expand beyond the boundaries, it looks like it's possibly the same square footage, but the orientation of the slab is different. So seemingly, yeah, it's like it's going to expand maybe 12 inches, 14 inches, maybe even 2 feet, Mackay.
So I'm trying to get clarification here. It looks, can you confirm it, that the plan was drawn an inch too high?
Yeah.
And it would come down towards the parking lot, and so that you would not have to go, is that correct? Yeah, because that was our understanding in the design. So it may be more just where they put the drawing on this. You can see there's more slab down on the parking lot side. So
Oh.
this should have been shifted so that the edge would stay at the edge of the slab, because that was the design request, is to stay in the existing footprint.
Correct. So the overlay of the proposed new plan, yeah, is incorrect. So
Yes,
the
it should be
presentation,
shifted downwards.
oh, so the presentation you're giving to our community is not entirely accurate.
We'll, you know what, we'll go
In
back, and
concept.
we'll go back and verify with them that what he's saying now is accurate, and that we will change the website and update it to be able to put this overlay accurately. It looks like when it was put on, it went up about a half an inch too high. And if that's the case, we'll fix it on the presentation. That the design itself is the design. If for some reason we find out that that's not the case, and this design is extending beyond the footprint, we will go back to the drawing board and work on the design to make sure that we stay in the existing footprint, because that was the instructions.
I'll let Chair, can I have a few more moments?
Yeah, go ahead.
Director, I really appreciate your response and mahalo for that. You know, it's, and just mahalo for the presentation overall. And I'm totally aligned with the concept, and mahalo you folks for coming out of, you know, as Ted stated earlier, several months ago, to consult with the community. So truly mahalo for coming out and incorporating, you know, what you've learned and what we've shared as a community with you folks into the current proposal. I really want to see an accurate plan, and then I really believe our community deserves that. So just mahalo nui, Director, for your response, and I look forward to the follow-up. Chair, I appreciate this moment to share and comment and question. I will yield back to you at this time.
Mahalo nui, Kuike. Director, if we can get an update when that happens so that we can inform the community to take a better look at the planning at that time, that would be helpful. Thank you. Okay, anyone else from the public here to question or comment on the proposed comfort stations? Anyone else online? Sure, give me 1 second, Canela. Seeing no one else online, again, any members of the public here today? Go ahead, Canela.
Hi, Canela, board. I would suggest maybe taking board member Ted's advice on this consultation, because if you guys are sharing that it has to go down, I walk that sidewalk a lot, and that sidewalk is maybe 24 inches. So if you dropping your station down, there will be no more existing sidewalk. So maybe just walking around it one more time with the neighborhood, because it could definitely just give you our mana'o and what we have to show in the comfort station area.
Yeah, we'll fix the sidewalk actually to the sidewalk will get wider over in front of it.
So there will be ground disturbance?
No, that's where the parking lot is. So we'll move it towards the parking lot. And then we intended to extend it slightly in the front towards the parking lot, not outside the parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah, not into the grass areas.
Do you know how far this comfort station is to the parking lot? Because it's pretty far and there's a hill.
We'll have to show the overall floor plan. I
Okay.
mean, with the site plan.
Thank you.
Yes, bottom line is we will get you guys a site plan, and if there's anything in the design that is outside of the existing footprint, we will go back with the design to make sure that it's done within the existing footprint. If it's just a matter that it's placed incorrectly on the map, we'll fix that, and we'll get the information one way or the other back to you. And yeah, we'll make it right.
I appreciate it. Lily, last comment, and then we're gonna press on.
Okay, mahalo. Aloha, Lili Makaila. I just wanted to give just a little bit of a comment. I think this community is very sensitive to ground disturbance, especially in that area, you know, Jockey Sands and that sandy area. the likelihood of iwi kupuna there is very high. And so I think that's why we're extra vigilant on that. And so even, like any trenching or anything like that, we really do not want to accept any disturbance of iwi kupuna. And so that's where our sensitivity comes from.
No, understood. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that, Drake, that recently there was a discovery in a matter of like 1.5 inches of sand. And so obviously that's something that is seared into many of the minds and hearts of our community. And so to supplement Lily's point, I think that's it. And I do want to also recognize, I recognize that we have, this has been a struggle of a conversation between the city, the different architectural firms, and the community. And while we're continuing to learn into what might make sense and how it might make sense, I feel like something like what Kuike pointed out, Director, and I know we're going to correct it, but that's going to leave a lasting impression, right? It's an unfortunate circumstance and mishap in the presentation tonight that creates question about understanding that this community has fought at ends to try and better understand so we can be better partners, because we can be difficult and we recognize that. And we also recognize that our difficulty comes at the urging of making sure that our community is treated with the utmost respect, period. And so I really appreciate, Drake, you acknowledging that right away and just saying we've got to fix it. And I appreciate the director's comments to bring that back to us. And so I know that's not an easy thing to do. And that's what I wanted to comment on. Director, I think your leadership in this process has definitely changed the way we try to engage. And so we really mahalo you as well. And to the general community, our voices are continually needing to be heard. And so wherever you might be hearing this later, show up, because the conversations are happening and you need to be a part of it. With that being said, I see no other hands or any other comments. I do want to turn over to our council member. I know she was present previously. Council member, you have anything you want to add to this particular presentation? Okay. Mahalo, and mahalo for your leadership and follow-up as well, council member. Director, thank you so much for being here. Drake and team, mahalo nui to you folks as well. Thank you. All right, gang, we're going to move on with our agenda. Next up, we have filling of 4 vacancies, and then we recognize Ted Ralston present here. So that brings our total number to 8. Do we have any recommendations or nominees for the Olu Olu Homestead and Makai side of Kalani Anaole Highway, Subdistrict 7? She's not present. Yeah. Okay, hearing none. Anyone for Subdistrict 9, Old Homestead and Beach Homes to Makapu'u? Hearing none. Subdistrict 10, Farm Lots. Hearing none. And Subdistrict 11, Hale'opuni. Okay, currently there are 4 open vacancies on the neighborhood board for Waimānalo, which include the subdistricts just mentioned. If you're interested and live in those particular subdistricts, please do let us know if you're interested in serving. We would be happy to take into consideration your nomination. But mahalo nui, gang. We're going to move on. We have education reports and community organizations, starting with Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate. Do we have Principal Jamie Dela Cruz online? Seeing none. Blanche Pope Elementary. I know everyone is in summer, so we probably won't have many speaking. Malama Public Charter School. I know that Denise said that they won't have a report today, but will be next month. Hui Malamo Kekai. Hearing none. Windward Community College. Hearing none. Auntie Ilima. University of Hawaii College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resources.
Aloha,
Aloha.
everybody. Sorry, I feel like I haven't been around for a while, but I just wanted to share that recently we had camp with our kids. We had 20 kids come up to the farm and we had a hana mai ka'i, so they did some aloha aina, they did some art projects, different work, stringing lays, learning about farm life, and being present on the farm was really, really good. Many of the kids were young, we had kids between 4 and 16 years old. They had a lot of questions, especially the ones who are first timers. There were a lot of kids that were first timers coming to our program, and they look forward to coming again. We also had Olohe Umikai come last week, and do a Healy workshop. He'll be back soon to do a Niho'oki workshop. And up and coming, we have a couple more things that will open to the community. I'll bring it forward when the time comes. If anybody has any questions, I'll take them now. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Auntie Lima. Members online, questions for Sitar? Seeing none. Members present? None. Anyone online, community for Sitar? Rep.
Yes,
Martin,
Martin.
thank you so much. Rep. Martin, the time is yours.
Sorry, I couldn't find the unmute button. And Ilima, I just wanted to find out, have you had any communications from either Blanche Pope or Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate about restarting your gardening mala with them?
Have not, and I've tried to reach out to, especially to Blanche Pope, because we really wanted to get the garden there started again, and a lot of farmers are interested in supporting that effort, but have not been able to get in contact with anybody in the upper management administration side.
Okay, I have tried, I have communicated and have tried, but I didn't know if they followed up or not. So now that I know they did not, I will try again. Thank you.
Sure.
Mahalo. Any community members here? Seeing, we have Ms. Sanel Poi.
Aloha kako, mahalo chair,
Aloha.
Sanal Poi. I did have a question real quick about Blanche Pope. I've noticed, sporadically I've been able to get, come on, but why is she never available or a representative from Blanche Pope available? And
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, that's a good question for me.
Mahalo for your question. I'm gonna let Auntie Ilima finish her presentation, and then so no, I'll make a note to come back to that question. Okay.
Again,
Seeing no
nothing
other
else.
hand.
Mahalo.
Mahalo, Auntie Ilima. So now I think at this point, all of these folks that are listed here are by invitation. Whether or not they take it is completely up to them, and it is at their interests and pretty much their readiness level. We don't mandate any of them to participate. We don't have that kind of position as far as mandating anyone particularly outside of the county. That is who we are functional through, and so I think I wish I could answer your question better. I'm happy to forward that concern to Heidi. She did participate early on when she first transitioned in, and like many, they have their own choice. They have the invitation to be here, but whether or not people take it is up to them. I hope that answers your question, but I'm happy to
Mahalo,
forward
Chair,
that
for that.
concern
And
over.
that did.
Yeah.
That was, thank you for the clarification and to comment on Ilima's that mala and the program that they can offer and partner with Blanche Pope. It'd be so beneficial, especially for a lot of our Kiki. They're able to go to Hui Malama and Malama, whatnot, partner with that, but to have something on campus for them to actually hands-on, that'd be awesome. Okay, I know who I need to speak to. Mahalo nui kako.
Mahalo, Sunil. Appreciate it. We will follow up as well with Heidi. Thank you. All right, gang, we're gonna move on to Hawaii Job Corps. Miss Julie. Auntie Julie, thank you so much for being here.
Aloha, everyone. Julie Dugan, representing Hawaii Job Corps. As I mentioned at the last meeting, the injunction for the program closure was upheld in court, so we're excited about that. Department of Labor released funding for our program for the next contract year through April 30th, 2026. So we are trying to rebuild our enrollment with the students lost during the Department of Labor closure. So we're resuming weekly tours, community outreach, and trying to notify everyone that we are open for business. We are not yet out of the woods for funding. The President's FY 2026 budget proposal has eliminated Job Corps funding. But the good news is there is a reauthorization bill that has been introduced. It's HR 2281. It's called Strengthening the Job Corps Act of 2025 that would reinstate funding to continue. So our current goal is to have program supporters reach out to our members of Congress, specifically our delegations that are on Appropriations Committee, Representative Ed Case and Senator Schatz. So I'll be sending out information to all of our community supporters, employee supporters, our local elected officials that have previously sent letters of support. But if you're a community member out there would like to help out, please contact me directly. I can be reached at dugan.julie@jobcorps.org, or I can be reached at 808-227-9686. So mahalo for the community for your continued support. I would like to acknowledge all of our local elected officials, Senator Chris Lee, Representative Lisa Martin, Council Member Esther Kiaina, for reaching out during the proposed shutdown. It worked. Also, Sitting County Director Laura Thielen. Just to let the community know that all of our members of Congress are supporters throughout that difficult shutdown period. Most vocal was Representative Jill Takuda, who displayed a very passionate testimony on the House floor to keep the Job Corps program running. And then she took the time to meet with 3 of our alumni to hear how the Job Corps program improved their lives. And one of our alumni is actually on the neighborhood board, Canella. So thank you very much. And again, please reach out to me. The fight's not over, but we continue to help serve the youth of Hawaii, many Waimānalo residents, but also provide a pipeline of good, solid employees to the workforce. And as you know, we employ many Waimānalo residents at our campus. So mahalo.
Auntie Julie, thank you so much for your update. Mahalo nui. Members online, questions for Job Corps? Seeing none. Members in public? Yep, Councilmember Kiaina. And then we'll go to online community members.
Aloha, Julie. Great news to hear. I had a question. I know about the appropriations process, but did you also say that there is a reauthorization bill for the Job Corps?
Correct.
So
It's
there's
being
two
introduced
processes.
right now.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that everybody knows with regard to the action alert, and Julie, we should work together. So there's 2 actionable items. Number 1 is the reauthorization bill that is normally over a couple of fiscal years, and she will make sure she gets us the bill number. And it's a certain committee, of course. And then there is the annual appropriations process whereby Senator Schatz and Congressman Case are on. And it's critically important that we support both, because you cannot appropriate if the program is not authorized. And I am not so scared about the appropriations process, Julie, because traditionally, a lot of these types of programs are always zeroed out depending on who is in the White House. And so I have confidence that the Congress will reinsert that. But I think the fight is going to be on the reauthorization bill itself. So I look forward to working with you, and we're still going to honor you in August at the City Council.
We appreciate
Mahalo,
your support.
Councilmember. Okay, thank you so much. Any members of the community online?
Chair, I had just a.
Sean, yep, go ahead, please.
Hi, Julie. Just probably an inappropriate time to ask this, but maybe at some point, Job Corps can consider farming as a recognized trade.
Sure, we are open. We do have a workforce development council advisory. So we're looking at labor market and what's out there. So we are always open. We do have a landscaping trade. It's not so much farming, but we do look at the labor market needs. So please reach out to me. We'd love to have a conversation.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, seeing no other comments here on in person, we're gonna move on. Mahalo nui, Auntie Julie, for your work. Thank you so much. We're gonna move on to the Waimānalo Health Center. Do we have anyone from the Health Center tonight?
Aloha. Yes, Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine. Welcome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I had a few announcements. One, it's been in the news a lot lately about Medicaid, and we've been sharing, I think since March, encouraging those of you with Medicaid or loved ones with Medicaid to please use your health benefits. We're encouraging people to refill your medications, to visit your doctor, your dentist, your optometrist, do your health screenings like colorectal cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, and to stay up to date with your immunizations. And if you have questions about your eligibility, our Mamaki team can help you. So if you call us or come to any of our 3 locations, they can help. 259-7948. So we just want to keep sharing that message. I shared it last month, but those of you with Medicaid, please use your benefits. And we're waiting for more updates about any changes, and I'll bring those announcements to the next meeting. I also wanted to share that we have been seeing an increase in COVID cases. So we just wanted to encourage people to use safe practices, washing hands, staying home if you're sick. And for those of you that are interested, we do have the COVID vaccine available at the health center. And lastly, I wanted to share that we are hiring and we have positions open in several areas. One area that might pique some interest is our cultural health team is hiring for a few different positions. Also our medical, our dental, human resources, and other areas. I'll put the link in the chat, but it's waimānalohealth.org/careers has a full list of available part-time and full-time positions. Mahalo.
Jasmine, thank you so much for all the updates. We appreciate your time and service towards them. Members online, questions for the Health Center? Seeing none. Members in person? Seeing none. Any public online? Hearing and seeing none. Members here in public? Okay. Thank you so much, Jasmine. We look forward to continued learning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Aloha.
All right, gang, we're going to move on to Homestead Association. Hearing none. We're going to go down to Bellows Air Force Station. Major Chen. Hearing none. Marine Corps Base, Hawaii. Christy. Hearing none. And, I want to put a plug in here, even though the presenter is not here. The same question that was asked to the Honolulu Police Department. Seeing recently the addition of ICE and I don't know what you would call it, a relationship with the Marine Corps Base Hawaii at Kaneohe and Makapu. It has come up as concern already. Not so much for folks that are fearing for their deportation, but certainly the violence that has surrounded the behaviors that have been shown on the continental US. And so the intention was to talk to Christy and to the Marine Corps Base staff this evening to think about how that might be problematic when it comes to the safety and securing of communities here. There are concerns because of this particular facility offers position here at the Marine Corps Base space at Bellows. And so we want to make sure that we're having honest conversations about it, but we recognize that there are and has been an uptick in violence that surrounds these typical operations. And so whatever your opinions are on that is fine, but I do want to voice that concern, and we will bring it up again at the next month's meeting in an effort to try and iron out what it looks like when we talk about safety for people, just period. Yeah, so I'll make that comment there. But seeing no representation from that, we'll move on to the Hawaii Army National Guard. Okay, hearing none. At this time, members, if no one's opposed, I missed putting the DOT representation on, or representative. I apologize, Casey. So if there's no opposition from our board, I'd like to ask the Hawaii Department of Transportation to provide their update at this time.
Okay, can you hear me, Chair? Yeah, my video
Yes,
is not working, but yeah. Good evening, Chair Kane and members of the Waimānalo Neighborhood Board. Casey Allen from the State DOT Highways. At last month's meeting, I mentioned that a Keep Right sign was missing on the median concrete island, just as you pass Umuniki Street going towards the golf course. Working with our maintenance crew, we replaced the missing sign. During my field investigation this morning and the other week, I noticed some graffiti and some overgrown vegetation from a private property that is slowly covering the speed limit sign near Waimānalo Street. We'll have our maintenance crew work with the homeowner to cut back the overgrowth and remove the graffiti. I also noticed some trash near the Waimānalo beach behind our guardrails, so I also have our maintenance crew remove the trash. I want to thank Board Member Ralston for his June 24th email, his Galaxy picture, and his concern about a utility pole at the intersection of Waimānalo Street that got hit last month and had to be replaced. I am working with our traffic branch on considering Board Member Ralston's recommendation to install some kind of roadway edge delineation to provide motorists a better visual context of the true lane. I did notice the new utility pole did not have a reflective marker like the other posts and signs, so I'll work with our district office and have them install one. At last month's meeting, there was a concern about an existing gap between the guardrail end treatments on the Mackay side of 41-668 Colonial Highway across Nalu Street. The gap was too wide at approximately 8 feet 10 inches, which allowed beachgoers to park their vehicle perpendicular to the highway in the opening, thus blocking the paved shoulder for bikers and pedestrians. I want to thank Board Member Ralston for mentioning the problem, clarifying the location, and especially his Galaxy picture shown in this slide. Working with our maintenance crew, we temporarily installed a crash barrel that reduced the gap to approximately 5 feet 6 inches to prevent vehicles from parking. During my field investigation this morning, the homeowner at 41-668 Colonial Highway saw me and asked if the state highways could convert the existing crosswalk at Knowledge Street to a raised crosswalk to help slow down speeders and to create another beach access opening in the guardrail. She also requested that we install reflective delineator posts around the short concrete head wall that is protecting our drainage inlet at Knowledge Street to provide motorists a better visual context of the concrete head wall. And also the homeowner requested we install additional no parking signs where we just installed the new yellow trash barrel to prevent cars from parking on the shoulder. She mentioned there's a long stretch of roadway between no parking signs on the Mackay side of Colonial Highway. So if there's no objections from the neighborhood board members or the public, I'll work with our support offices to investigate and report back at a future meeting. And finally, I also noticed a shoreline erosion problem across the Knowledge Street intersection that may need immediate attention. I'll work with our support offices and our district office and I'll report back at a future meeting. This concludes my report, but if the neighborhood board members or the public has any concerns about the state highways, you don't have to wait until the next monthly neighborhood board meeting to express your concerns. You can email me your concerns and if possible, send pictures or a Google Map screenshot of the location of your concerns. I'll work on your concerns with my peers at our district office and support offices and hope to present an action plan at the next neighborhood board meeting. If the neighborhood board members or the public would like their concerns to be expedited, since all our offices are short on resources, they can email the state elected officials, Senator Chris Lee, who is our Senate Transportation Committee Chair, or Representative Lisa Martin, and your elected officials can email me or our Deputy Director for Highways, Mr. Robin Shishido. If they email me, I will forward the email to our deputy. If they email our deputy directly, please have them copy me on the email so I can help follow up and report back at the next neighborhood board meeting. Our deputy director has a lot more clout than me when asking my peers to respond quickly to community concerns. I can take any questions at this time.
Mr. Albe, thank you so much for the detailed report. Members online, questions for the Department of Transportation? Ted?
Just wanted to appreciate Casey's work. Thanks very much, sir.
Noted. Mahalo. Any other members online? Hearing none. Members in person? Canela?
Hi, Canela, Neighborhood Board District 5. Thank you, Mr. Alve, for that update. That was very informational. This question comes from a community member that actually lives in the Hawaiian Homesteads, probably by Nalu Street. I'm not too sure if you are the right person or department, but they would like clarification on if homeowners are allowed to put the boulders on the side of the road on the Malka side, from the Makai side that you're sharing where people are parking along the roadside. This homeowner is a Kupuna, has lived in Waimānalo her whole life. And with the 125,000 visitors that we see now, parking is very limited, access to the beach is very limited. She has multiple mo'opunas that she takes to the beach. So 2 questions. Are homeowners allowed to put boulders on the side of the Malka side of the road? And will Department of Transportation get more parking access for the neighborhood in the Nalu Bell Street area to go to the beach park that is right next to that guardrail?
Okay, I would have to check. The key part is that if homeowners want to put some kind of rock or trees, it has to be within their right of way, within their property. They cannot put anything that's outside of their property, which normally would be within the state highways along Kalaniala Highway. And as for other accesses on the Makai side to the beaches, this is where if you want an additional accesses, this is where you let us know where you want the access, and we'll have to work with our support office to see if it's appropriate to open up the guardrails to provide additional accesses.
Thank you. Follow-up question, Chair? Thank you so much for that response. Who would be responsible to investigate if those boulders are on the residential's property line?
Normally, we would be responsible to ensure that these borders are not within the state right of way.
Mahalo. And then Lily, and then we have council member. The council member's response was if it's city, it's Department of Planning and Permitting. Thank you. Lily?
Aloha, Lily Makaila. I had a question, maybe another way to look at Kanela's question about the rocks outside of the property. Would it be possible at next month's meeting for you to share what the approximate distance or size of the DOT apron is?
Sure.
How far from the edge of the highway the DOT apron stretches, and then I think we'd be able to have better guidance from that. Mahalo.
Okay, this is along Kalaniala Highway, so, because that's where our state.
Correct.
Okay, sure. I can go work with our rights of way office.
Mahalo. Kisi, there was also a question earlier that Kanela asked about some of the parking along the Waimānalo Beach Park area where the beautification park project is taking place. Are you familiar with that area? The campground area?
Yeah, it's in front of the beach park, and there's some orange netting around the area.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think, Kanela, your question earlier was who enforces that, if that's correct? Or is parking going to be allowed there?
Sorry, thank you, Chair. I believe the question was parking along that Waimānalo beautification, is that considered authorized parking and driving on that area, or is it unauthorized parking and
Yeah.
driving?
Some areas in during my field investigation this morning, some cars were parked when you had a no parking sign. When you see no parking sign, they're not allowed to park, and this becomes a enforcement requirement by the HPD. So this is where residents would have to call HPD and let HPD know that there are people parking where they're not supposed to park because there's no parking signs.
Noted. Mahalo. Any other questions for HDOT?
Yeah.
Members of the public? Kuike, go ahead.
Yeah, mahalo. Casey, I just got a follow-up question to the rocks. Let's say you guys investigate and you find, right, that these obstructions, regardless of who placed them there, is on the DOT easement? Who's liable if somebody pulls off of the road for an emergency or any other reason and the obstructions cause damage to the vehicles? So if you don't have that question, that answer now, can you please follow up next month?
Sure, I will follow up. That's a good question.
Mahalo.
Mahalo nui. Rep Martin?
Aloha, Casey. Thanks for all you're doing there. My question is, the image that you shared that had the erosion, was that by the storm water outlet that's like a pipe that goes under the highway by Bell Street? Is that where that was?
It was right across
Nalu
Nalu
Street.
Street. Yes.
Yeah.
But I when I went to investigate, I couldn't see the outlet from the ocean side, the Makai side. So I would have to go back and work with our fellow hydraulic engineers and our shoreline managers to do a thorough investigation.
Okay, thank you.
The outlet is about 60 feet to the north. That's the only outlet there. And that damage came from that big supercell that sat over Mauna Lua some years ago. When that particular drainage got clogged up, water ended up pouring over the road, and that's the result of that. There was a previous effort to throw rocks in there, which was kind of half-assed, and then we ended up having some additional rocks added later, Casey, and then it just got dropped. So I appreciate your attention to that. The community has in person, in real time experience with what took place there. If you want to meet, I can connect you to some folks that were present unclogging those drains.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
Thank you.
Perfect. Mahalo, Rep. Seeing no other questions, we're going to move on. And then making a note, actually, Mr. Abe, I just want to say, in the past, when community members have taken their own position on things, the neighborhood board was held accountable to some of those lack of communications because they didn't come to the neighborhood board to share their mana'o, which is
Right.
fine. They don't need our permission. But when it comes to whether or not the neighborhood board was consulted as a body, just know, don't discount the neighborhood board if you could. If you could send those folks to the neighborhood board, that would be helpful in our advocacy for them.
Yes,
Because when we don't know how to help them.
Yes, I did inform the homeowner that they should reach out to you folks and submit their concerns to you folks. Just
Perfect.
that she saw me, that's why I wanted to present it to the neighborhood board tonight to let you know that I was approached and that was her concern. So this is where I was asking if there's any objections or concerns from the neighborhood board about her request.
Yeah, and to be
Okay.
respectful, to just have that dropped right here tonight and ask for whether or not we have a position is not how we do things here. And so I would appreciate in your report now, we'll take that, we'll add it to the agenda for next month. And it might sound a little cumbersome and it's like slowing down the process, but to intend that people have the right opportunities to share their mana'o to projects is what we're striving for. And so I don't have objections to it tonight, but I will say that the process we have in place is to add it to the agenda for the next month and then take a position to
Sure.
offer more community input if you would be so kind not to
Oh, yes.
start some of that prematurely.
Okay, so I'll wait for next month. You'll put
I'd
this on the
appreciate that.
neighborhood board. Yeah. So I won't talk to my support officers. I'll wait until the neighborhood board do their investigation. And
That would be great. I really appreciate you considering that this evening.
sure.
Mahalo nui. Okay, members, we're going to move on. We're going to be adding the DOT's report monthly, so we look forward to continual learning with Mr. Abe as well. Mahalo. We're going to move on, gang. We have some resident and community concerns. We have the Ko'olau Resilience Hub Network update from Joe Watt from Key Project. Joe, when you're Makaukau. And then after that, we will be going over a Kako Opunanaleo o Ko'olau Poko and Pu'ohala update. So, do you need a table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful. Can I
Thank you.
just drag this one?
Yeah, we can just see if we can lift it. Can you?
Boom.
No more wheels on that
Perfect.
one. Mahalo, Joe. Thank you for being here.
Okay, let me just figure out what's going on with the share screen. My computer is asking me confusing questions, but okay, I think I get them. Can you guys see the stuff? Okay, here we go.
Good.
Presenting. Okay, aloha everyone. How's it? My name is Joe Watt, and I'm here today on behalf of the Ko'olau Resilience Hub Network. I am also employed at the Key Project, which is a community center up in Kahalu'u, but the things that we're working on are a little bit bigger than just Kahalu'u things. So I'm excited to share with you folks, and there's a couple of Waimānalo questions that I'm hopeful you folks can help me navigate. So before we get too deep into the details, everybody loves to talk about resilience. If anybody that you're talking to works with any kind of nonprofit, there's so many resilience grants. Just to put down a definition, resilience is the ability to recover after a disruption. And at its core, that means that resilience needs to be set and defined and led by the community, because if we do not recover to what feels normal to us, then we have not recovered. So just an important thing about keeping things focused on the community level. The Ko'olau Resilience Hub Network was launched in 2024. It was a partnership with Vibrant Hawaii and the Castle Foundation. They brought Janice Ikeda from Vibrant Hawaii over here to talk story with a group of different community organizations who were trying to figure out whether or not their model for community organizing would make sense on Oahu. I thought it was super rad and was one of the people that supported Vibrant Hawaii's mentorship here in the Ko'olau region. I'm one of the co-coordinators, and my kuleana is Ko'olau Poko. Olivia Wallace out of Kahana is the other co-coordinator, and her kuleana is Ko'olau Loa. And really at its core, it's a bunch of different organizations that are action-oriented, focused on building pilina with each other, with the places that are going to help resource our communities, and we are places that are led by community for the community. And this is the more exciting part of this because, you know, we spent a couple of different meetings in 2024 that was like all planning stuff and all kinds of different ideas, but now we're getting into the actual exciting, let's get some things done part of it. And so this is kind of the core of what it is that we're doing right now. So first off, we use Telegram as our communications network just because it's practice using like internet-based communications, which we would have to do after a disaster. We are trying to organize youth resilience academies. So these are 2-day leadership and skill building workshops. We're holding one in Kahana, one at Key Project, and then we're looking for a location to try and host one in Waimānalo. If you folks have recommendations on facilities where we could do these presentations, I would really appreciate it. Kimiona recommended talking to Maile with Huimalamo Kekai, and I've also reached out to the Waimānalo Health Center, but other suggestions would be appreciated. It's like HFD and DEM give presentations about stuff. We have a canned food cook-off and a CPR class or something, and like team building games. So that's the plan, because nobody is too young to have kuleana. There you go. Next, we have a psychological first aid training, which is, I think, just like good things for people to know how to support people that are going through tough times, with a particular focus on like post-disaster assistance so that people don't get super overwhelmed. I didn't go to the training, but there is one here on August 9th. And special shout out to Auntie Deborah with the Kaneohe Kahalu'u CERT team. This is the kind of trainings that the Resilience Hub Network tries to organize. So they've actually flew Auntie Deborah to Hawaii Island to a train the trainer workshop for this. And so the more hubs that we have, the more we can send people. Also, our CPR first aid, we've been working with Pu'u from the Waimānalo Health Center. They paid for her certification for the CPR first aid stuff. We're also working on doing chainsaw certifications. I think like everybody knows when a big storm comes through, get all kinds of stuff bust up on the roads, and nobody's going to get to it before we do. Right now we have this training, but the idea is we would like to hold a training at all of these different hubs. This is how they do it on Hawaii Island. So if Waimānalo had a hub, which right now we had some people from the Homestead Association participate in the past, but they have not been to recent meetings. We would be able to hold a full chainsaw training here in Waimānalo. You'd be able to get 4 teams of 2 people to be chainsaw trained. So that's a total of 8 people with 4 chainsaws held someplace in Waimānalo. So if a hurricane comes through, you're like, settle up, buddies. We're all gonna go get our chainsaws because if we gotta cut open the roads, we gotta cut open the roads. The goal for this stuff is trained people safely clearing the roads before we can expect anybody else to be there. Yeah. And then I think some of the other stuff that we do is just Pilina building I Know work days. We're scheduling CPR classes with Pu'u, like I mentioned before, and then streamlining communications and collective advocacy. Really what the things that are coming up next, we're going to do something in November with all the participants. On Hawaii Island, they paid for 19 industrial freeze dryers that they were able to locate out in the community so that we could be eating beef luau instead of MREs, if that's of interest. But really, I think the thing is when we get organized and we have ideas that we would like to fund, that coming together as a network is something that a lot of the government agencies that we've been working with are looking for organized ways to imbue money down to the grassroots level. So the goal of the Ko'olau Resilience Hub Network is to enable that. And we are looking for partners that will be able to awamo this kuleana and like have the patience to understand that the 1 hour a month meeting opens up accessibility to a lot of these different resources. So if you folks have Waimānalo hubs or Waimānalo groups that you think might fit this role, it could be something you could organize as a Waimānalo hub and have different Waimānalo organizations take turns being the representatives. I know that my kuleana as a coordinator is to make sure that as all of these resources start landing in Ko'olaupoko, that Waimānalo has an equitable chunk of them. So if you folks have recommendations for who is down to give me a phone call after this, and then we can scheme about like how we can figure out the meetings to make sure you guys get the chainsaw trainings, get CPR trainings if you want them. We also just got, I think we're going to get lifeguard trainings funded as well. Those are some of the things that we're trying to figure out. And I have such big dreams for this freeze dry hui. That's like my big scheme. So, perfect. Yeah. And the last thing I'm going to say to that is really, hubs are people. There's different definitions that people have been talking about in this resilience concept. And some people say that they're trusted gathering places. Some people say that they're like hurricane-proof buildings. But if you try and call either one of those, a person is going to pick up or you're going to have to leave a message. So I think the most important part of this is finding the people who are eleu and accountable and present in their community and invested in making sure that some of these things land in their neighborhood and on their street. So that's me. Thank you.
Mahalo, Joe, and I apologize I stepped out. If any folks have, anyone needs information for this project, please let us know. We'll be happy to provide it. But here's his information. We'll leave this up for just a minute more for folks to take. Just because of time, we're going to hold on questions, and if you do have them, we can send them separately. We're going to move on to the next item that's on the agenda, which is the Kako'o Punanaleo o Ko'olaupoko and Kekeo Puohala. I received an invitation to submit position in support. Unfortunately, they're not able to be here, but basically the issue of Punanaleo is one that has garnered some news recently with the closure of one of our classrooms. Ku, would you be able to share a little bit more detail to this at all? Okay. We'll take a look at, oh, go ahead, Ku.
Sorry. I'm cutting in and out. That's why I was out. Can you say that again?
Would you be able to provide any more information to this particular request, short of me reading the whole letter? Because I'm gonna agendize it for next month, but it was just an introduction to position.
Mahalo. Is there a request by the Huimakua Pu'ala?
Not specifically, no. Was from Junior. Junior sent it to me.
Sorry. I haven't seen the letter, so I mean I
Okay.
kind of have an idea, but I don't want to misspeak.
Sure. How about to the issue? You're familiar with the issue?
Is this around Pu'ahala and Funanaleo or Kolapoko?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So yeah, mahalo. There's recently made aware of, and we've been supporting the Huimakua Pu'ahala in organizing, as well as the administration and staff of Punaleo o Ko'olapoko, and their community efforts and outreach, because the principal at Pu'ohala, the current principal at Pu'ohala, has proposed to reduce the classroom availability of 2 classrooms to the Punanaleo Ko'olapoko at Pu'ohala, from 2 to 1. And that reduction, is, from what was communicated and expressed, is unnecessary, because apparently there's 5 other classrooms within the school that is currently empty and unoccupied, and is just used for either storage or council rooms. So the need to reduce the classroom from 2 to 1 is uncalled for at this point in time. 1, 2, the Kaipuni there at at Pu'ohala. So I guess this Pu'ohala is a bilingual school. It has a English side as well as a Kaipuni side, and I'm second graduating class from Kikula Kaipuni Pu'ahala in '96, and the Kaipuni Hawaiian immersion program there has expanded expounding, and right now I believe the students that attend Kaipuni at the Kaipuni, yeah, are approximately 300 students versus how much students the English side Pu'ahala versus on the English side is 70. So the there's so let me just repeat that again. There's approximately 300 Kaipuni students attending there at Pu'ahala, and there's 70 English speaking students, or not English speaking students, but the English side students. That's including the Head Start program there at Pu'ahala, and the inequity or the treatment towards the Hawaiian immersion program, as well as the Punanaleo Ko'olapoko. It almost seems like it's being targeted through Kanaka and Kanaka programs and these services. So I'll just leave it right there, Chair, and yield
Okay.
back to you. Kalamai, if I was any help, I appreciate it. If not, maybe next time just read the letter.
Mahalo nui.
I apologize. I wasn't prepared to speak on this. I just play a supporting role.
Yes, thank you. Nope, that's great. I appreciate the quick update there. Again, this item was sent forward, so we'll agendize this for board business at next meeting, and then we can all be more prepared to consolidate thoughts into what position the board would like to take at that time. So mahalo for that recap, Kuike. We really appreciate it. Members, we're going to move on. Sustainable Coastlines, Hawaii Earth Recap, Earth Week Recap. Is Raf here? Hearing none. Early Eviction Mediation Program, Roberta Hickley Gomez, Program Manager for the Early Eviction Mediation Program at the Mediation Center for the Pacific. Are you present this evening? None? Okay. We have some in the room that we're going to provide community or resident concerns? You're welcome to. If you can please come up and introduce yourself, and we will see how we might be able to direct your concern. Thank you.
Good evening, committee members and board. This is the first time we're going to be talking about something like this on my side and Raymond Fukunaga. So Raymond Fukunaga, longtime farmer in Waimānalo. I'm David Yamada from A&K Nursery. We do the tuberose. Anyway, we entered agreement with Raymond's family in 1987. It's been a long time with a parcel of his land. Through all the years, I guess we never got around to it, but we needed to change the zoning on the ag parcel and basically be able to, we are on title already with him, and good and bad, because we never did the subdivision, so we're kind of stuck, and everybody's getting older. So today, just here to get your support and guidance and help. It's going to be a journey going through the DPP and doing all this stuff, and hopefully it'll be something that we can do. I know back in 1987, it was a common thing for farmers to do it, and I know there's opposition because so much of the parcels were divided and sold, and it kind of destroyed some of the ag lots. But anyway, what the parcel originally is 9.5 acres. We, A&K Nursery, assuming 3.299 acres, that parcel, that's the only division that we're requesting for. This parcel is on the corner of Ahiki and Waikopuna, up in the corner of Waimānalo. And that's about it. I mean, really sorry it took so long for us to come here. Time flies and everybody got older, and something we really need to do now. So with your support, guidance, and whatever help you can give us, then we would like to, well, anyway, I would have to start this journey.
Mahalo nui for coming to the neighborhood board. I will say you don't owe us an apology at all. We don't have governance over those kind of decisions. So we definitely have leaders that are here that can help us field and navigate some of the things that you folks may need to navigate in the very near future. And so what we can do is if we can swap information, we can definitely get some follow-up to take place and see how we might be able to direct where you might need to go from this current position, if that's helpful. And I appreciate you folks sitting through our meeting to get to this point. We hope that it is not as difficult as it may seem to get some of these things ironed out. But this is not the body that can make those decisions. We are definitely available as a resource though, and we will commit to that at this point in time. So before you leave, make sure we have your information, and then I'll give you ours, and then we can have that discussion. Perfect. Mahalo. Anyone else for community or resident concerns? Auntie Lua, come to. Yeah, if we can. Thank you.
Okay, hello, I'm Luana Kaio, and I need to make an announcement that on July 26th, we're having our La Ho'i Ho'i Ea celebration. It's our 10th year. We always did the march, but this year we're going to do a totally celebration thing. On this day, we're on July 26th from 9 to 5. It's going to be held at Waimānalo Elementary and Intermediate School. We'll be having entertainers, speakers, food trucks, tents, craft vendors, and service providers, employment and training specialists. We'll also be having a flag ceremony and historical presentation. This is done by the Kua'aina o Waimānalo, which is spearheaded by Kalani Kalima. So mahalo for all the vendors and crafters and food people that's going to step up on this event. And it's going to be held in front of Waimānalo School, that small little portion. So, kimi ona kalani se te calling.
Mahalo,
Any
Auntie.
questions?
Thank you so very much. Mahalo. Thank you for being here, Dave.
David Ludke. Chair Kane, I sent you an email a week or so ago.
Yes,
I'm
thank
trying
you.
to clarify the situation with the California Department of Food and Agriculture's solid
Understood.
waste disposal. And I just wanted to follow up on that, make sure you got it, and hopefully you can work with the board and answer the question I posed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I intend to ask stop. I intend to ask Representative Martin, who sent a one of her staffers with us to that
Mhm.
particular thing, if we might review some of the notes from there, because I think we asked a question about solid waste, and I want to make sure that we have that answer documented.
Okay,
So
and I wanted to make sure that you're aware that they don't contest that their waste is really smelly
Mhm.
and that it has to be hauled off site
Mhm.
to avoid problems with
Sure.
neighbors, of which I'm one. So I just wanted to make sure you had that information. So,
I do.
okay,
Thank you. I
right.
appreciate your follow-up as
Okay.
well. Mahalo nui.
great. And we'll be hearing from you.
You will.
Okay,
You will. I
Great.
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, come. Introduce yourself. So if Rep Martin, if you heard that, if we can make some time to just follow up on some of that, I'll give you a call or shoot an email over to you. That's regarding the fruit fly facility tour that we took. So mahalo. Aloha.
Hi, aloha kako. I'm Stacen Kekai Maluskin. I'm the Bishop's Warden over at St. Matthew's Episcopal Church at 41054 Ehukai Street. I just first wanted to thank the board. I was here last month and I announced our Kokua food basket, and everyone from like Rep Martin to the board helped spread the word about it to the community. We really appreciate it. We saw like an uptick in community members like coming and picking up food, which is amazing. We love to give back to the community as much as we can. I just wanted to quickly announce our next food basket will be on July 26th from 10 to 12. And we do have our food basket every month on the second and fourth Saturdays of the month from 10 to 12. Just wanted to, I guess, briefly talk about some of the policies passed by the current administration in the budget bill. We do get a lot of our food from the food bank. I just want to say if anyone can show some support to the food bank, Hawaii Food Bank. They've been doing great things to help feed Hawaii families and Hawaii communities for so long, and we're partnering with them to help continue to support the Waimānalo community as much as we can. Our food basket was started by local music legend Auntie Nikki Hines, and we hope we can continue that legacy for years to come. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui. Thank you so much for that. We'll definitely take a look at what the Hawaii Food Bank might be offering. If you have a contact there, and if you can invite them to our next meeting, I'd love to add them to the agenda and just hear from them what some of the challenges they might be having. So if you have my information, great. If not, reach out to any one of us and we'll be happy to put that on as a discussion. Thank you for being here. Okay, seeing no other hands. Oh, Amanda. Please introduce yourself. Mahalo.
Aloha kako. I'm Amanda. I'm visiting Waimānalo. I live in Manoa. I just wanted to second Kimiona Kane's concerns regarding ice being on the Marine base in Kaneohe. I'm just hoping to learn more, see some more insight into why they are moving to the base and what that means for our communities. I know on the mainland, they've been operating mostly out of hotel rooms and non-bases. And with the move to Kaneohe, they also are moving to 2 other bases on the mainland. So I'm just trying to understand what that means, why it's changing, and what that means for us here, in Oahu. Mahalo.
Mahalo for your concern, Amanda. I know we might not have our federal delegation on with us tonight, but I'm sure every one of our elected officials have been following this information as it relates to our community. And so if we learn anything, you'll learn it. So mahalo for that. With that being said, we're going to press on, gang. We're at 9:04. We have our public servants, we are at our elected officials reports. We're going to start with Councilmember Kia'aina. Mahalo for your patience, Councilmember. We look forward to your update.
Aloha and good evening, everyone. My update's pretty short. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out to honor Uncle George Mahoy for the renaming of the Waimānalo Beach Park campgrounds. It was a very successful event recently. Also, to follow up on my commitment to community leaders to have a site visit to H-Power and Waimānalo Gulch landfill. I'm going to be taking 2 of the neighborhood board members on Thursday with other leaders from the district, as well as with the environmental services director, Roger Babcock. This will be Thursday. I also have finished my report. I do know that the Kailua Neighborhood Board Permitted Interaction Group has conducted their own report on the landfill. Mine is finished. I'm doing some technicalities to it. As many of you know, the bill that I was worried about, that we were all worried about, the legislature provided us with a reprieve. It did not decrease the buffer zone. So it was signed by the governor recently. So that and then other minor edits, I just need to make sure it's done as soon as I get it, which would probably, I hope to get it out within the next week to all of the neighborhood board members. And I also, lastly, I just want to congratulate Chair Kane for being named to Pacific Business News's class of 2025 40 and under 40 awardee for 808 cleanups. And then, sir, with regard to your subdivision, if it's going to be, if you're going to retain it in ag land, that's a good thing. So, and Sherry, you made a good point. This is within the kuleana of the Department of Planning and Permitting. But I need to let you know, sometimes when the community does matter, so you're doing the right thing, just to let them know about it. So, but make sure that when you do it, well, first of all, contact me just so I know, because there are others who try to subdivide and then try to rezone out of the ag. And that's where there's a problem, I believe. And so community input, even if DPP has the sole discretion, can have an impact. So thank you for what you guys are doing. And thank you for informing the community. And it's good for me to know, because there are other efforts to try to subdivide. Once you try to subdivide and take it out of ag and then put it into another category, it's a little different story. It depends on the situation. But anyway, thank you. If anybody has any questions?
Councilmember, thank you so much for that. Members online, questions for Councilmember Kiaina? Seeing none. Members in person? Seeing none. Any folks online from the community? And none there. Any community members present? Okay. Mahalo nui. Councilmember Kiaina, thank you so much for your time. We're going to move on to our State Senator Chris Lee. Hearing none. State Representative Lisa Martin. Mahalo nui for your patience, Rep. Martin.
Aloha. There we go. I see the screen is back. I'm not sure. I must have the wrong video camera selected. But first of all, I just wanted to say that we had a town hall. It did not go very well in terms of attendance. So next year, maybe we will try to do a virtual one and advertise it differently. Senator Lee and myself, we want to be available and to have time, not just to share out what happened in the legislature, but also at the beginning of our interim, it's a great time to hear what people want us to be working on, because it's when we have more time to do that. So just want to say that we will, next year, we'll try to do a virtual one, see if that is easier for people to attend, and we'll try again. We have been doing a lot of bill signings. The governor is done signing his bills. I was really happy to see some of the ones that I had the chance to work on, make it to the end. And now it's a time to follow up, right, and make sure that they're actually implemented and the money is spent. as intended. To that end, there was a biosecurity bill that some of the things I had worked on were included in that bill. And I have been meeting with the people that are meant to have funding to work on CRB. And I was able to meet with the new plant industry administrator for the new Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity. They're calling it DAB. And Dr. Richard Kim, and I'm really excited to have him here. He's only been here a few months, but I'm very heartened that he is going to, take his job very seriously and not, and be happy to work with partners. And in this case, the partner is UH. And they fortunately now have their permits to do the biocontrol research. And in order to get appropriate viruses to find what might work best for our beetle in our state, they'll actually be traveling around Asia a bit to collect samples and as opposed to just using what might be in use elsewhere, and try to find the most effective control that does not impact our native beetles that are found on Kauai. So I'm excited about that because I think that is our long-term solution. But in the short term, they will also work on providing training and supplies to palm owners who just want to keep their trees alive until such a time that we have a biocontrol. That's what they can offer on Oahu. On other islands, they are doing more of, about trying to stop and prevent any spread. I also wanted to mention that on the Medicaid and SNAP issues, the bill recently passed by the federal government is very scary, very damaging to our benefits, but it does kick the can down the road a bit, delaying some of those cuts until after the midterms. So we do have some time to respond. We also have time for our country to hopefully change the balance of power in our Congress during the midterms, because the requirements that they have passed for getting SNAP benefits and Medicaid benefits, the work requirements are now apply to parents that they did not apply to before. And, other people will be I'm looking at how we can make it easier. Some people may not be working because of disabilities they may have, and they may not want to be classified as disabled because that comes with it to get Medicaid. There are some limits on their assets and savings. So I'm going to be looking this next session to addressing some of those problems, so that one route for people to continue to get their benefits without risking losing their assets and savings is through a diagnosis of disability. So anyways, we are thinking about that. We will have a presentation for other legislators at the end of the month so that everybody moving forward can understand some of the changes we might have to make to absorb some of the cuts. And some of the cuts are happening already to Title X. That's our family planning, our reproductive health services. Those are being cut already. Department of Education, those cuts are happening already. So there is a lot to respond to. I really urge people to, to think hard about the impact on things they care about and their community when voting. And with that, I'm open to any questions you might have.
Mahalo, Rep. Martin. Thank you so much for the detailed update. Members online, questions for the representative? Seeing none. Members in person? Seeing none. Public members online? Seeing and hearing none, and any public members here? None. Representative, we look forward to. Oh, oh yes, yeah. I'm gonna submit a response in email. Yeah, yeah. So Rep. Martin, just keep an eye out for a response in email regarding Mr. David's concern about the fruit fly issue about waste management. If you would, I'll send that over this evening.
Yep, I will keep an eye out. Thank you very much and
Okay.
have a good evening.
Mahalo nui. Thank you. Okay, Kako, we're gonna move on. Do we have anyone from the Governor Josh Green's office? Seeing and hearing none. Congress Member Joe Takuda's office? Seeing and hearing none. We're at 9:15. We have a few items on board business, members. First is approval of regular meeting minutes for Monday, June 9th, 2025. We need a board motion and then a second. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Mahalo Lily with the main motion. Is there a second?
Second, Quique.
Kuike, mahalo. Members, for this first vote, we'll take a roll call vote. When your name is called, please vote in the aye if you support, in the aole if you do not support, and in the kanalua if you are abstaining from vote this evening. Your name will be called by Brandon. This is to support the approval of the regular meeting minutes for Monday, June 9th, 2025, moved by Lily and seconded by Kuike. Mahalo, Brandon. Thank you.
Okay. Beginning roll call vote with Board Member Kanela Kamahalohanuilai.
Sorry, clarification.
Oh, yes.
Am I able to vote even if I wasn't in the meeting? Oh, aye.
Okay. Next, Chair Kane.
Aye.
Aye. Next, Vice Chair Kuike Kamakea Ohelo.
Aye.
Aye. Next, Board Member Lily Makaila.
Aye.
Aye. Next, Board Member Jenna McKeague.
Aye.
Aye. Next, Board Member Moeata Mokulehua.
Aye.
Aye. Next, Board Member Kapiolani Ni.
Aye.
Aye. And the last two board members, I don't believe I see Ted, Board Member Ted Ralston anymore, and Brenda Wong is absent.
Aye.
Oh, aye. Pardon me. My apologies. Board Member Ted Ralston. Aye. And Board Member Brenda Wong is absent.
Okay, so that's 8 ayes,
8 ayes.
0 nays, and 0 abstentions. Members, mahalo nui for that. We're going to move on to the next item. This is about the landfill site, the visit and the report that Councilmember Kiaina was referencing, and then whether or not we wanted to take a position on this particular option or this particular issue. I'm going to defer over to our Vice Chair Kuike Kamakea Ohelo and our previous Vice Chair Moeata Mokulehua as they attended the previous tour site, the visit. Do you folks have a position and recommendation at this time, or should we prepare for that for our next meeting?
But since we're meeting this Thursday, I believe we should just postpone until I can come back with like a report or something and an update so we can take a position. I would suggest.
Noted. Mahalo. Kuike, any differing thoughts? Okay, hearing none. Moeata, mahalo nui for that, and we appreciate you folks taking an opportunity with the council member to go and learn a little bit more. We look forward to your recommendation in August. Thank you. Members, we're going to move on. This is in relationship to our sub-districts. As many of you might have noted, we've struggled for some years to fill a full 13-member board representing all sub-districts, often with several, at least 2 to 3 sub-districts not having representation, at least on paper, while knowing that many of us fulfill those roles across many different sub-district lines. And so the recommendation now is to move away from the positions of sub-districts and move all of our 13 positions to the at-large position to hopefully allow for others who are interested to fill, even if they already are in a position where folks are already answering for. But that is the recommendation on the floor. Is there a motion to approve that recommendation or not?
Motion to approve.
Mahalo. Lily, with a recommendation to approve the changing of all sub-district positions to the at-large position and submit the recommendation to the Neighborhood Board Commission Office.
Kuike.
Is there a second?
Second. Kuike.
Kuike with this. Mahalo ku. Members, we're in discussion. Anyone have any discussion they want to share about this?
This is Kuike, Chair.
Please.
I just want to mahalo. It's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of deliberation and discussions around this. You know, it's one thing to go out into community and to do outreach, you know, and try and get members from each sub-district, you know, represented and involved. So we're all represented and have a voice. However, sometimes we just got to do what we got to do and make adjustments and, you know, tack here, tack there. And so that's the reason why I support the motion. Just mahalo for the recommendation again and for the original move on. Back to you, Chair.
Mahalo Kuike. Members, any other discussion? Canela, please.
Sorry, aloha, Canela, District 5. I think I just need clarification because I wasn't here during this topic for the at-large position. Would that allow the members to go past our sub-district boundaries for service and resources?
Absolutely. I think, you know, for those of us that have been serving for a little while, what we know is that we don't only serve our sub-district. We take feedback from everyone, everywhere, all the time. And while the intent, I think, was written to make sure that all populations of people within the community have a representation, the at-large positions, as other boards have taken a liking to as well, allows us to float throughout and just serve everybody. It requires all of us to coordinate and a concerted effort to make sure that people are not being left out. But so far, I will say in my experience in recognizing other boards have made the changes, it allows them, one of the first reasons why I learned about folks taking this position was so that they could have quorum. One of the biggest issues was people were not having quorum, and so action was stalled and halted for a long time. And so this is a measure that other boards have taken to allow people to join the board and be able to serve the community with the emphasis on getting action. Yeah.
Mahalo, Chair, for the guide.
Absolutely. Mahalo. Anyone else? Questions on this item or comments?
I had a
Hearing
question.
none. Jenna, go ahead.
So it'll still be a 13-member board, just all positions will be at large. We'll keep the
Yes.
same number. Okay.
That's correct. Unless you have a recommendation to change it.
Oh, no. I was just checking what the number would be, if that would change or it'll stay the same. Okay.
Yeah,
Mahalo.
it would remain as 13 currently, just simply taking some of the challenging sub-districts that we have never filled into
Right.
consideration and moving them to at-large, and then still 7 as quorum and 9 for 2/3 vote.
Okay. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui. Okay, hearing no other comments, we're going to go ahead and close the comments on the discussion there. We're going to be taking a vote. Members, we recognize 8 members present. We're supporting the intent to change our positions of sub-district to all at-large positions, submitting a recommendation to Neighborhood Commission Office. It's been moved by Lily and seconded by Kuike. All members in favor, if you can vote aye, please do so now. Aye.
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 Mahalo. Any members in the no position, please go ahead and voice your opinion at this time. Hearing none. Any members abstaining? Hearing none. With that being said, we have 8 ayes in support, 0 nays, and 0 abstentions. Mahalo, members. I'll work on that documentation and send that over. The next will be on behalf of the Hawaii Job Corps, as we learned at our previous meeting, a letter in support of their programming to be sent to the congressional district from the neighborhood board. Is there a recommendation to support this action at this time?
Recommendation to support.
Mahalo, Lily, with the main motion to support. Any second?
Second.
Seconded by Ted Ralston. Members, it's been moved and seconded. We're in discussion.
Absolute support from Kuike,
Mahalo, Kuike.
sub-district at large. That's
If
And
there
we-
is, go ahead, Ku. Okay,
Oh,
Ted,
that was
you had a
that was
comment?
Ted. I was just wondering, has the letter been written yet, or we still have to write it?
There was a draft letter that was provided. I was just going to use a sample letter and tailor it to our position specifically. I'm happy to work on that with other folks and articulate it in a way that you folks feel comfortable and send that out. But I didn't have a drafted letter directly to present this evening. Okay. Any other discussion? Because secretly I was hoping that Missy over here would take care of that one. The Canela would write that out for us. But nonetheless, the neighborhood board will take a position and the position is being authored tonight. So hearing no other discussion, we'll close discussion again, representing 8 members present. This is to support a submittal of a letter of support to the congressional district on behalf of Hawaii Job Corps Hawaii. We are in the affirmative to support. And so members who are in the aye position, go ahead and make your voice known. Aye.
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 Any members in the no position? Any members abstaining? Hearing none. Okay, that gives us 8 ayes, 0 nays, and 0 abstentions. Members, if you folks would like to take a look at the draft, I'm happy to work on that with Canela and send that out to you folks before sending. But we will support the Hawaii Job Corps in that regard. Mahalo for your time and service there, guys. We are going to move on, recognizing no other board business before us with meeting announcements from the neighborhood board office. Brandon, you have any announcements for us?
The neighborhood commission office is hiring for a new neighborhood assistant. So please send your recommendations and applications if you are interested.
Mahalo nui. And the members, just an FYI, we do have paperwork for those of you that were sworn in. If you didn't submit your paperwork, to please do so as soon as possible.
Oh, yes. And also, I guess if you could email me, that would save me some time. But we do have gift bags and neighborhood board member T-shirts to hand out. So if you could also just email me with your T-shirt size, and I'll bring them down, and you can pick it up in person, or chair has offered to distribute them necessary.
Mahalo. And just a note, gang, if we don't turn in our paperwork, you run the risk of being taken off the board. Okay, so turn in your paperwork. If you need kokua, please let me know.
Chair.
Tuike? Yep.
2 questions. First question to what you just said. Do all of us have to do paperwork again?
Yes.
Okay. Well, can I follow up with you on that then? And then
Yes.
the second question, what B just said about the T-shirts, is that for all of the general public or just the members of the board?
The members of the board, yes.
Oh, okay. Just asking for clarification.
We know about that kind of budget, bro.
Well, not us, but the county might have, the real.
Oh, the real. Mahalo. Cool. Seeing no other questions and with no other remarks from Brandon. Thank you, Brandon, so much for that. Members, the next meeting will be on Monday, August 11th, 7 p.m. here at the Waimānalo Library. And then our 2025 Olelo broadcast schedule. The Waimānalo Neighborhood Board number 32 meetings are broadcast on Olelo Channel 49 on the 4th Monday of the month at 9 p.m. and on the 1st and 3rd Saturdays of the month at 3 p.m. That is all our adjustments, our announcements for the evening. If we can, I had previously listed that our board member Moyata Mokulehua would close us. She was our previous serving vice chair. So I'm still going to ask Moyata to run us through our closing pule if she may so generously offer that.
Sure, I'd love to.
Mahalo.
Okay. E pule kako. Mahalo kepua for today and for the commitment that you instill in all of our lives to serve the Lahui. Mahalo for being with us at every meeting and guiding us through our decision making and our conversations around community, supported with aloha and love always. So mahalo for today and tonight, and get everybody home safe. Amen.
Amene. Mahalo nui, Moyata. Thank you so much. And again, congratulations to all of our current serving and our previously serving body. We appreciate your folks' commitment to Waimānalo. With that being said, seeing no business before us, the meeting will adjourn at 9:29 p.m. Mahalo kako. We'll see you next month.
Mahalo.